Spider369 says Mac Jones QB1. All right, let me ask Tom about that right now. Mac Jones is 5-2. He's working without much of a running game. He doesn't have Ricky Pearsall. His defense is decimated. He's already beaten the Rams once. If he finds a way to win this game on Sunday, is there a full-blown quarterback controversy? What's at stake for him?
I don't think there's a controversy at all because I'm going to play Mac as long as I can. And the other thing is the deeper I get into the schedule and the closer we get to the playoffs and the deeper we get in with the run and we get some wins, I am not going to take Mac out and put in Brock Purdy, who has been on the sideline for 6 weeks, 7 weeks by the time that they ever decide to use him, if they choose to use him. And when he has yet to exhibit in practice that he is 100% full speed, ready to go. There's a chemistry right now with that offense, and these players have built a relationship with Mac. There's a confidence factor that they have with Mac. The offensive line knows him and knows how he sets and knows his timing for getting the ball out. So, other than the weakness of the right tackle in pass pro, McKivitz, where you need some chips and you need some other factors to help him out, they're surviving up front. The running game, that's an iffy situation, and a lot of it depends upon the kind of runs that Kyle calls as to how effective the run game can be. And I think he showed a couple of weeks ago when he went to more of a downhill run game with McCaffrey even, how much more effective that style is rather than trying to run the stretch plays, the outside zones and all that stuff. So I tell you, I'm more than happy to go with Mac. There is no controversy.
So are you saying that you think there's a scenario where if Mac Jones stays healthy and keeps up his current level of play that Brock Purdy doesn't play again this season?
I would not take him out and put in Brock, even though Mac is still winning. There's no way. Especially when Brock has gone for so many weeks without having a full speed competitive environment. Look at what happened in the Jacksonville game, I believe, when they put him in. He was not his normal self. But then now I worry about how rusty he's going to be, how his timing's going to be off, his relationship with the receivers. Mac Jones has a better relationship with Bourne than Brock will have coming off the bench. I wouldn't make the change. I'm sorry. I'd just go with Mac Jones. There's no question from my perspective that I cannot win ball games with Mac Jones at quarterback.
I mean, that's the impression I'm getting from the organization, that they're in no rush to bring back Brock Purdy for a lot of reasons, and they haven't exactly been transparent about how severe the injury is. Not to go too deep into hypotheticals, but I can't help myself right now. If Brock doesn't play again this year and Mac keeps playing well and this team goes to the playoffs and he maybe wins a playoff game, where do they stand at quarterback going into 2026? I mean, do they trade Mac do they sell high on Mac? Do they keep both? I mean, do they have a quarterback competition next year? Where could this go?
Well, the thing about it is, if you were to trade Mac Jones and you look at Brock's injury history going forward to 2026, knowing that chances are he's not going to make it through the whole season because he hasn't in the last couple of years. So where are you going to go for your number 2 quarterback? So I can't trade Mac Jones. You're only as good. You go look at the mistake that, for example, Washington made the other day with leaving Daniels in the ball game when it was a 38-7 ball game, and the guy hyperextends an elbow, and now he's going to be out several more weeks. Why was he on the field with his injury history and coming off injuries, and the game's a total blowout? You're down 31 points. You got no chance. You're not producing. Why is he out there?
I don't know. It seems like a potential fireable offense for the head coach. I mean, you just jeopardized the franchise, buddy. What were you thinking?
Well, that's the same thing with the Niners. I'm not going to think about this. We have no idea of how successful the Niners are going to be going forward to make it the playoff run. but I don't want to do anything now that's going to upset the apple cart. I mean, there is a flow with the offense right now. And you're winning ball games. You're scoring some points, not as many as you'd like for a variety of reasons. But by the same token, hey, you're only going to get better. Your players are going to only gain more confidence, and you're only going to have a better rapport between the receivers and the quarterback as you go forward, and they spend more time together.
Yeah, and you know their offense isn't losing them games the way it really did against Jacksonville. I mean, Mac Jones hasn't been the MVP of the league, but he's not costing them games. He's a big reason they're 5-2. Ezio Sanchez says, Mr. Walsh, can you give a shout out to Rubidoux High School?
Oh, Rubidoux High School. I tell you what, there's some NFL players who've come through there, and coaches also. George Warhop, the offensive line coach for the Baltimore Ravens, is a product of Rubidoux High School. Solomon Wilcots, who played in the NFL and was a broadcaster for CBS. Oh, yeah, so there's, Rubidoux.
Where is Rubidoux?
It's a suburb of Riverside, Southern California, out there. Harupa Hills, Avon, Glen Avon. Used to be called Billy Goat Acres in the old days.
You know California better than me. Spider369 says Purdy's mobility is what keeps him relevant. Well, without his mobility, I don't know how effective he is. We'll see.
It's a win-lose situation with him. You like the mobility factor because he can extend plays and things of that nature, but then also when he exposes himself more to injury when he's out there, on the perimeter.
Joshua Wyatt says, I'm worried Mac's not going to make it. Bloody nose, ripped jersey, knee brace, and Colton McTurn style. Kyle offense needs the world's toughest quarterback. Well, to Mac's credit, through 7 starts, he's been very tough, but I see what Josh Wyatt is saying there. It's going to take, he's got a long way to go, and he's got a lot more hits to take.
Well, the thing about it now, when I design a game for Mac in a past concept, I'm going to make sure I have receivers underneath or checkdowns who are going to be able to get out, knowing that if he has any semblance of pressure, that since he cannot escape the pocket, does not have great improvisational skills in terms of getting outside the perimeter and outside the rush. By design, as the coordinator and the play designer, I've got to have checkdowns and quick releases for him to whom he can dump the ball if we do have a busted protection or there's a free rusher coming through, so he can get the ball out of his hands and avoid taking the hit. That's coach's responsibility to keep that quarterback upright.
I see what you're saying.